Good evening, Vietnam! I didn't want to say good morning because then it would be just kind of straight ripping it off. I had to mix it up a little bit. And it is the evening. It is the evening of March the 8th, 2018. And it's a landmark episode, as it is episode 50 of the Technical Alpha podcast. Not bad. Time flies when you're having fun. And other than a couple of weeks for the wintertime, we have been here every single week, bringing it to you, for better or worse. And here we are, for number 50. How you doing, Mr. Black?
Oh, it's one of those days, man. It's one of those days. Woke up.
What you mean is you played Overwatch today, and then it made it one of those days.
Yeah, that too. But I woke up. I knew I had a dentist appointment. Oh, take a look at my teeth. All right, so for those that have been around for a long time, which I'm assuming anybody that's watching this podcast are probably lifers that have been here forever.
Since the dawn of time, yes.
Since the dawn of time. Well, when I first started doing LAGTV, I had braces. So my teeth were really fucked up. And my dad always wanted me to have straight teeth for my wedding and stuff like that. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to be in the public's eye. I may as well should get the braces. So I got braces. I had them on for like 2 years. And my teeth were super straight. And I had retainers and didn't wear my retainers for a long time. Now my teeth are still pretty straight. I mean, you know, I definitely got some more crowding and stuff that happened over the years of not wearing my retainer. But anyway, probably a lot of people don't even know this, but I've been wearing Invisalign now for, I don't know, 6 months. And so today I had to go in and get my new set of retainers. And what I had before is I had a lot of crowding on the bottom of my teeth and the front of my teeth. Now you can really notice it on my bottom teeth, more so my top teeth. But what they had to do today is I had to, I had my braces off, and then I decided to get my Invisalign. So I've kind of skipped part of the story. So I go in today, and I thought I was just going in to get some more retainers, because like once every 3 months, I get like a new set of retainers or Invisalign, or what you want to call them. And then today they had to do some filing on my teeth because there is just too much crowding going on. So even when I had my braces, they never actually they just worked with what I had. And Invisalign is a little bit different. Invisalign, they can do whatever, but there's different things they have to do because you're not using wires and shit like that.
Yeah, of course.
So they had to file down some of my teeth. Look at this.
Oh my God.
So right now, my top front teeth, I've got a gap. Look.
Oh shit! Oh! Oh my God! All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth.
So I got a little bit of a gap right now.
Ah, you need to hit up that runway. That's all the rage in the runway models, bro. You just gotta get on that runway now.
So yeah, they said after like next 2 weeks or so, the front of my teeth will start to go back in.
Yeah, they're going
because they just need space for these 2 teeth to come out. So they're basically just widening my mouth right now.
Yeah,
so I just thought it was funny because I took a smile like. So
you
yeah,
you kind of look like Jeff Dunham's like black pimp doll. What's the you kind of get that look going now.
Yeah. So my day started with that, and I thought my dentist appointment was at 1:00. It was at 9 a.m. and so we had a snowstorm yesterday or overnight, and the roads were horrible, man. Like I snowblowed the driveway and I drove down. I almost like gave up halfway. I was like, man, I was like driving the truck, but even still, it was horrible.
It was nasty out there. Well, it was kind of like mild, so slush and stuff would have been bad.
Yeah. So it's like this tires couldn't get a lot of traction and shit. But anyway, I got there, and when I got there, they're like, yeah, your appointment was at 9 a.m. I was like, oh shit.
Oh my God.
And then, well, fortunately, like everybody called in, like because they didn't want to drive.
Right. Yeah,
so they're like, we can get you in an hour. So I was like, all right. So I went and got something to eat and got and then got the stuff done. But man, my teeth are fucking sore right now because they got these new retainers in and it's cramming everything up.
It'll be a week before that kind of works its way out, and then it won't be as sore for a bit. But that's
and then came home, played some Overwatch. Did that, played that for like 4.5 hours, and ended up like 8 points below where I started today, and then just took a chill here. Barely ate anything because my teeth are sore, but here I am.
There you go.
That was my day.
Killing it. I went to bed at like 6:30 in the morning because Gabs flew back home yesterday, and I tend to just stay up until she lands and whatnot, and say goodnight or whatever when she lands and make sure she's there. So I filled all of last night until the wee hours of the morning. We had just got her a new laptop so that when she's over there, she can still, if she needs to, because sometimes she has to go there for a period of time. Like right now it's a month. So that's a long time to not work. So we needed something for her that she could still do like art on and stream stuff and whatnot. So her community had helped her get enough money to buy this laptop that's fire as fuck. I found it on Tiger Direct of all fucking places on earth. I found this laptop on Tiger Direct, this crazy deal. And so we had her old laptop that she had that was slow as hell, and she had just reinstalled Windows on it. It didn't seem to be doing anything and whatnot. So I was like, all right, well, I got some time. I'll fucks with the laptop. So I tore the laptop apart and cleaned it and installed an SSD in it that I had a spare one sitting around forever and ever and ever. Actually, it was in my gaming PC for at least 2.5, maybe 3 years, because I had originally purchased a second one to install Windows 7 on a second boot drive in case Windows 10 fucked up, because back then anyone who was streaming when they did the transition from Windows 7 to 10 and shit was just getting blown up left, right, and center. Streaming software wasn't working, games weren't working and shit. So my streaming PC had a dual boot of Windows 7 and 10, and I wanted to do that on my gaming PC, but I never ended up really doing it. So I stripped that out and I put that in the laptop, and no more bloatware. It's like, the shit that comes on laptops when it's just like 90% of the computer is like how many different versions of solitaire.
Garbage. Yeah,
just garbage. So when I installed the SSD, obviously no longer a problem because there was none of that shit on the hard drive. So and now it's a brand new machine. It's speedy and working well. So we'll have something else around the house. It's like a good Netflix laptop or something like that. And if I ever did like a stream in the kitchen or something and we didn't want to like use the expensive laptop in the kitchen, that one would do fine. So I did that into the wee hours of the morning, watched a couple of movies in the background to keep me company. I popped on Pulp Fiction, hadn't watched that movie in years. So I watched some Pulp Fiction. I ignored, like most people do in Pulp Fiction, the middle 45 minutes of that movie, where what's his name takes over, Die Hard himself, friggin' shit, what's his name? The actor's name, from Die Hard, fucking
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. So Bruce Willis's character comes up, and they do that mid shift in the middle of the movie. I don't know, maybe it isn't everyone, but when that part of Pulp Fiction comes up, I turn my brain off for about 45 minutes because it is just like the dumbest part of that movie, up until the point where the dude's getting like, butt stuff, because that's hilarious. And then there's a samurai sword. It's like, was Pulp Fiction before or after Kill Bill?
Oh,
it's before, like by miles, right? So, I always, when I watched it, I was like, I wonder if the samurai sword thing was like a fucking, like he had that in the back of his mind from Pulp Fiction in that scene where Bruce Willis is. It's a funny scene. Like, do you remember that scene where he's just about to leave the place because he escapes the gimp suit place, whatever, and he's going about to leave, and he's hearing the black dude just get his butt stretched downstairs, and he has this like moment where he's like, oh, I can't fucking leave, even though this guy was trying to kill me, I can't leave a motherfucker behind getting messed up like that. So he starts looking around the pawn shop for various items. He starts with like, I can't remember what he starts with. He starts with like a hammer. Oh, it's like a hammer. Picks up a hammer. He's like, all right, he looks around and he says no. He puts down the hammer, he picks up the baseball bat. Like, all right, he's like feeling the bat up. He's like, oh, But then he turns around and he sees a chainsaw. He picks up a chainsaw. And then, for whatever reason, somehow the chainsaw wasn't good enough. He looks up and there's the fucking samurai sword on the ceiling. And he pulls that out and he's like, yeah, all right, that'll do it. So yeah, I watched that, and then I watched, oh God, what came after that? It was a Nicolas Cage movie. I only watched about half of it before I went to sleep. Rage, which is like a relatively, it's 2016, I think it was when it came out. It's one of the, okay, so you know how Nicolas Cage has basically just done every revenge movie like action revenge movie. It's just another one of those. That's all it is. It's another one of those. It's even got like the classic, something happens to like the kid and the wife goes, I don't care what you have to do, you do whatever you need to, like that fucking corny line that's in do whatever you need to do, make it happen, go and do it, kill people. And you're like, all right, well, shit, I've seen this movie 40,000 times. But it was Nicolas Cage, so I watched it, and he was phoning it in bad, dude. Like,
he phones in everything. He doesn't give a fuck anymore.
I haven't seen a more recent Nick Cage movie in a while, and when I was watching it, I was like, this dude got hammered and then went to set and just fucking phoned it in. It's so bad. And I don't know if he's got like a connection. I don't know what the actor's name is, but I think he was in Gone in 60 Seconds as well. He might have been in John Wick or some shit, I can't remember, but he's, shit. But he's in a bunch of Nicolas Cage movies. I don't know if they're friends and he just kind of like brings him along for like the fucking ride every time. I wish I knew who it was. One sec. Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna see if I can look this up real quick. The cast. Oh my god. Even the poster for this movie is generic bullshit. Cast. Danny Glover's in this movie somehow.
It's not like Danny Glover is doing anything.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. Is this it? Peter Stormare, I think, might have been him. Maybe. Was that it?
I don't know who he is.
He's got the beard. You'd know if you saw him because most of the movies that he's in, he has the same exact beard. I'm going to send you a link. Real quick. Copy.
Is he like a big dude?
Not necessarily, but he's not like, I've seen him in like a number of things, and he has the same thing and everything. Here's on Discord. I sent you. You'll recognize as soon as you see the guy, you're gonna know who he is. Like you would have seen him in. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like an actual actor.
Yeah,
he plays like a lot of like he plays like a mobster and shit. Like
he's a real actor. Fuck Nicolas Cage, but they got him in here. He's a real actor. But he's in a bunch of Nicolas Cage movies for some reason, or I've seen him in.
This guy's like typecasted in a lot of stuff. He plays like a lot of like mobster.
Yeah.
baddie and B action movies.
Yeah. I kind of like him though. He's got a really good look for it though. I can't hate it. Like he does a good. He does his role real well.
He's got like that greasy look to him, like that, like, you know, seen some shit.
He looks like somebody, like, whenever I've seen him, he looks like somebody that in real life he's seen some shit and I wouldn't want to fuck with him. Like, that's like the aura that he gives off. But, yeah, so anyway, he was the highlight of the movie for the only part that I saw, because everything else, other than watching Nicolas Cage be drunk and act, was great. But yes, did that. That was my night last night. Today, woke up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because I had like a sum total of about 2.5 hours of sleep over the span of 3 days, so I was dead.
There you go.
Woke up, still feel dead. Played some Overwatch with you. Regretted my decision immediately because of the people we had to play with. And then talked with the better half for a bit. Slapped together this podcast, and here we are. Episode 50. So Panic, for those of you who have realized he's not here yet. He was invited to go see a stripper or something. No, what was it again? Avengers. So he's off seeing the Avengers right now.
The new one?
I guess. I don't know. He didn't specify. He just said Avengers, and you know me. I don't fucking know what's in the theaters. He could have told me. He could have told me Wizard of Oz was back in theaters, and I would have believed him. I don't know.
Okay.
So he's watching the Avengers right now. But we've got some pretty good topics and stuff to hit up today. So, Mr. Maximus Black,
yeah,
hit me up with the noise of spending hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on a VR headset, only to plug it in one day and find out it doesn't work.
Fuck.
No.
Me?
Hold on. No, hold on. I apologize, but I need you to do this one more time because I have to modify it a bit. Hit me up with the noise of spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a VR headset and sitting down to watch some VR porn only to find out that it doesn't work.
Fuck. Fuck me. That's it.
Okay.
That's
It's the same. It's the same no
the
matter
same
what.
thing, just a different level of fuck.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
One's
All
more
right.
disappointment than the other.
So the Oculus Rift, yesterday, day before, every single Oculus Rift on Earth stopped working all at the same time. And there was a reason for it. The guess was that the security or the certificate, the hardware certificate thing, whatever, that checks for, basically it's a thing that allows the device to talk, or the computer to talk with websites, downloading shit to keep it whatever without getting hacked and whatnot. Which is about the most bastardized explanation of what that is in the world. But if that's a no-go, then the device just doesn't fucking work. And normally most of these devices automatically have this thing renew itself so that these situations don't arise. I don't know if that's what was inevitably blamed for it, but that was going around as the main cause of it. Apparently, like 4 or 5 hours ago, they announced that they have a patch coming out that's actually going to rectify the problem. I just don't know if it's an automatic patch or not, because depending on how it would get pushed, that if it was the certificate, it might not allow people to have it pushed to them. So unless they hear about this and then find out that they have to download the patch, it might not work. I don't know. But that's a pretty... Somebody got fired. Twice.
Yeah.
Got fired, hired, and fired again, just for fun. And you know, that's a pretty big thing to happen.
You're fired. Oh, please. I got a family. I got mouths to feed. All right. You're hired. Yeah, you're fired. Fuck you. You're fired again.
Yeah. Exactly. Please no. But yeah, that happened. And that was pretty crazy because people. There's a guy on my timeline that was screaming about it, like, why is nobody talking about the fact that every fucking Oculus Rift on Earth doesn't work right now? And I'm a credit to them. I didn't expect the fix to be that quick, but I guess they're getting it. I guess they're getting it done.
Well, it tells you one thing, that nobody's using Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. They're like, it doesn't work. Fuck it. You know,
I'll play something else.
I was gonna use this shit anyway.
Yeah, so that happened.
Did you see the did you see Mist?
I did. So Gab sent me that. Now I had seen. Okay, so a couple of things happened. So one, they announced that they have another game. I don't know if you saw this, but another game that they're doing that's a VR game as well. But it's another puzzle game. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But they have a trailer for it that, and they're bringing that to, some game developer conference type stuff to try and get some backing for it. They're not going to do the Kickstarter thing this time. They're just seeing if they can get some corporate support to make the game happen. And so they've got that on tap. And so I had seen that and I was like, fuck, yes, more shit from Cyan World, please. Just keep that coming. And then somebody hit me up on Twitter, and Gab sent me this DM afterwards because I had seen, their Twitter account was posting these like individual pictures of like maybe the best ending or the greatest ending hasn't yet been written or has yet been written or whatever, but like one after the other every 10 minutes. And I hadn't seen
it said the end has yet to be written.
Right, and then they did Mist 25. Which is the 25th anniversary, I think, is what they're referencing, right? And I hadn't seen the final one. I'd just seen all the words. So when I got sent that, I just about passed out, or I just about had a heart attack right there and then. What do you think they're gonna do? Do you think that they're getting their hands now? Ubisoft has, I think, Myst, the actual game, locked up. Like Ubisoft owns Myst, Riven, and possibly Myst 3 or 4. At this point. So do you think that they're making another Myst game, or do you think that they're going to redo Myst for the 25th anniversary in some way and do VR or some shit?
No, I think they're going to come up with a new Myst game. I think it's going to be the final chapter, which would make sense because there's no real conclusion to the Myst story, at least.
Well, 5, I haven't played 5, so I don't know what the ending to 5 was like or how they wrapped that up, because 5 was called End of Ages, right? So I don't know how that all played out.
But it did say the end is yet to be written.
Yeah, so, exactly.
They're gonna. I really feel like they're gonna come out.
I will be a fucking schoolgirl.
And they made the last one there, the
abduction,
yep. Which we still didn't get our shit from them guys, man.
Well, to be fair. They're relatively busy 5 individuals making the whole thing happen.
But yeah, I mean that did well. I would imagine it sold pretty well. It was.
So Rand Miller, one of the brothers, right? He did a couple of interviews when they came out with this other game, not the Myst one, but the other one, and he talked about that. So Abduction sold well, but they basically. It wasn't like it sold so well that they're all retiring on the shit. They basically took most of the money and dumped it right back into Abduction to do the VR thing and then to fund their next game. They just turned most of the money right back around. They obviously paid themselves their year or whatever, their 2 years, but they dumped all the money back in. So he said, while Abduction did well, it's not like it was the greatest seller of all time. So, so I guess that's, maybe they're putting this money back into... or that money back into this or whatever, but it's weird to me that they have that game on the side that I just mentioned, plus a Myst 25 thing. I don't know how. Maybe it's the same fucking project somehow. I don't know.
I don't know. It's all a puzzle. But
either
way, more games from them. Awesome.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
And if it's
whether
a Myst
it's one
game,
or 2 or whatever. It's probably I would imagine it's probably going to be a Myst game. I would imagine. The only thing that scares me is they're just they get their dicks hard for VR, which I'm all for. I love me some VR, and I would love a puzzle game in VR. It's just I hope they don't dumb down things, and the games just don't feel like they feel like a big VR gimmicky.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like you're just playing a VR simulator, and I just hope that they keep the. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. So Abduction was originally made with the idea of VR, but then they shelved the VR thing to get the main game out until they could do the VR better. And Abduction didn't really necessarily feel like it was was like a VR specific thing. I think if there was a genre that would be colored less by the whole VR thing, or the least, it's probably the puzzle adventure genre, because the majority of that is just making sure that whatever you would do with your mouse, you do with your hands, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
We'll see.
I have all the faith in the world in whatever puzzle adventure those guys do, because they're the grandfathers of puzzle adventure, and with Abduction, with the budget that they had, and the fact that they hadn't been together to do a game in as long as they had, and to have it come out as good as it did, yeah, I'm comfortable with that, and oh my god, the thought of more Myst just makes me so happy, because there's not enough puzzle adventures. I want more. I want more of them. And less edgelord puzzle adventure, because that's like, if it doesn't come from Cyan World, it's like everything else is like edgelord shit. It's like super, like way too thinky. It's like Talos Principle and like the Turing test and like all these, like the Witness is all like this super artsy fartsy fucking thinking too hard about shit. Just give me Myst. But yeah, that was awesome. For sure. I can't wait to see what comes out of that, or if we know like how much more information we're going to get and when on that. I didn't yet look up when the date of the 25th anniversary of Myst is. Let me see. The original release date. September 24th, 1993 is the 25th anniversary. So
we'll see. I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. I just hope it's not a remastered or a fucking remake of Myst. I've played the game a couple of times now,
course.
and a couple different versions. I don't need another one. I will not buy another one. Give me something new.
You know, I said this to Gabs when we were talking just before the podcast. I said, you know, if I had a whack of money, I would love to just fund them to redraw Myst and get away from the QuickTime video bullshit and everything, and redraw Myst and whatnot, and Riven, and because they're I mean, Riven is the direct sequel to Myst, and stitch them together into one game, so that it just, and then fill in that little blank story bit in between and just stitch it into one big puzzle adventure game with redrawn shit. Oh, I saw I think it was IGN or another publication. Probably don't think it was IGN. It might have been something from the EU. I can't remember now. Top puzzles of all time in video games, and my first thing that I thought of was, if that fucking Riven marble puzzle is not in this list, I don't care about the list anymore. I went and I looked at it, and sure as shit, there it was.
Nice.
It's the best puzzle in any puzzle game ever made. I'll stand by that until the day I DIE, which can't be before the 23rd of September this year, because I need to find out what the fuck is coming. PUBG and Fortnite, both announcing various shenanigans this week. PUBG laid out their entire roadmap for 2018 in a lengthy thing written by PlayerUnknown himself, saying that they're aiming for 2-month development cycles, or release cycles, so new content once every 2 months. They talk about 2 new maps, one of which is coming out next month. It's a 4-kilometer square map versus the current ones are 8, I believe. So it's a quarter of the size, roughly.
That's good. I like that.
And it doesn't seem like they're reducing the player count for it. So it's going to be a quarter of the size with the same amount of people. Not a lot of urban stuff. Only it looked like a few installations, and then the rest of it's river and jungle. It's a jungle map. So that sounds great, but I won't be particularly pleased with it until they fix the early game bullshit in PUBG, because the tick rate in the early game in PUBG makes it unplayable. It's a complete gamble. Like, if 2 people stand in front of each other in the first 2 minutes of that game, the tick rate is 2. 2. The refresh rate on the server is 2. It is the lowest of any multiplayer game I've ever fucking heard of in my entire life, especially competitive. And So you could have two people with shotguns just shoot at each other at almost the same time, and it's a complete fucking gamble as to whose shots actually register and who gets killed. And you get a lot of that stuff when you're playing it. You'll watch streamers play it in the early game. That's why some guns are way more powerful than others early, is that the more bullets that you can put out there, the fastest, the better, because the shit tick rate, at least gets mitigated by the fact that if you have a micro Uzi and you can empty 25 bullets in under a second, you have a good chance of killing somebody, instead of them with an M16 only able to fire, so many rounds in that same period of time, and the server's like, and you'll get these death cams where you've hit the guy like 5 times, and you watch the death cam and one of your bullets fucking registers, and you're like, oh, well, great. So if that doesn't get fixed by the time you have 100 people on a map that big, it's gonna be a fucking gong show, dude. People are gonna rage. It's gonna be like 40 people in this tiny little area, and it's gonna be mayhem. Absolute fucking mayhem.
Well, you know why they're doing this? They're doing it because Fortnite. That's
faster, right?
That is it.
Faster
That's the
paced.
show.
Yeah.
They're losing steam, man. Fortnite's picking it up. Fortnite's the GOAT right now. And I see Fortnite continuing to just shit all over them. And PUBG will be the number 2. It just will.
Well, it already is.
It will stay that way.
It already is number 2, yeah.
There's nothing that PUBG can do.
At this point,
they could go free to play. It's not. Yeah. They're still not going to catch Fortnite.
They chewed up all of their goodwill, right? They chewed up all of it. It's all gone. There's very few streamers going to sit out there and defend them at this point, and even less players that will be out there.
There's Fortnite streamers with 130,000 subscribers.
It was Ninja is now making like $500,000-$600,000 a month in subscriber money.
Yeah. Probably $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Or a month.
A month,
sorry.
yeah. It's just huge
just
money.
One year.
Huge money.
Set for
Retire.
life. That's it. That's
Done.
the show.
Done.
That's PewDiePie
I wish
money.
I liked Fortnite, but first of all, if I play Fortnite, I ain't getting that many viewers anyway. So who gives a fuck?
No.
But
the guy's a god.
The guy's a god. But at the end of the day, yeah, Fortnite's huge. It's gained traction as you would imagine, because it's a more polished free to play game, right? The release cycles on the PC and console seem to be pretty much in tandem, whereas PUBG, the console side, is ages behind. Xbox doesn't even have the desert map yet still. So, it's just no contest, and they can come out with this roadmap all day, but I don't think anyone believes them that they're going to hit 2-month windows on release. They can't even fucking get their server update times right. They're like, all right, guys, it's going to be down for 3 hours. And then you get that SpongeBob like fucking screen comes up 8 hours later. And then, sorry for the inconvenience, hashtag. But yeah, so they announced things like emotes. They're going to do like emotes and stuff like that to add to the game. I think custom parachute art and stuff or whatever as well. And a number of other things. There's another map coming later in the year, so they plan, I think, 2 maps this year. They have new animations coming to add to the game. For example, when you're getting into a vehicle, animations for that, changing seats in a vehicle so you're not just like fucking teleporting like around inside the vehicle and shit. As well as tightening up animations for vaulting and whatnot, because that's been still kind of jank. Things like that. So all of the stuff, I appreciated everything in the list. I really did, because I do like PUBG. I'll believe it when I see it. All of it's going to improve the game, but again, I'll believe it when I see it, because I don't really have much history to go on here that tells me that they're going to deliver on all this shit in any period of time. And then Fortnite. Oh no! Before I ended that, the one thing that so many people found, and of course called them out on immediately, was people were just looking for what about bug fixes? What about the hackers? What about the thing that's making your core game? It's nice if you want to keep adding new maps and shit and emotes so that we can dance on the people we kill and look cool in replays. But how about you fix your server issues so that we don't rage at the game nearly as much, or want to lose our minds over the fact that you've got this multi-billion-dollar game just sitting around doing no bug fixes. And then in the area they like packaged hacking and bugs and server shit all into this one little paragraph and said it's it's too sensitive. I have it in quotes because you can go see it. Too sensitive a topic to cover to talk about any specifics about how they plan on doing any of that stuff. So just stay tuned.
Okay.
Because it's coming. Like, all right, go fuck yourself. Fortnite, on the other hand, obviously announcing stuff pretty much all the time. You know, they have new skins and all that, whatever. But the big thing that that was coming up this week is a limited time 20 versus 20 mode is on its way up. It's a limited time. Maybe it becomes more permanent if this goes over well. I don't know. That's probably what they're looking to see if people enjoy it and if it works as a mode. But that's going to come up. That's going to probably be pretty crazy because at that point now you can dedicate people to building, and that's going to wildly change the course of battle and play because you will have people, I imagine, that will literally just be dedicated to building stuff and you'll have people shooting and whatnot and defending to keep positions. So that'll be pretty crazy to watch. So yeah, that stuff came around. Have you had we've been playing Overwatch quite a bit, but between Fortnite and PUBG, you're obviously on the Fortnite side of the fence. Have you played any Fortnite at all recently?
I haven't played Fortnite in a while now. Just Overwatch has just been it for the last 8 or 9 days or so. That's it. I haven't played Fortnite since I got my monitor really set up, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I love Fortnite. I'm down to play it whenever, but yeah, haven't played in a while, so I can't really add too much.
I will say this just because I'm seeing it in chat. You know, PUBG copying Fortnite. All right, okay. I need you to just stop and think for a moment about how many games have emotes and how long emotes in games have been around. And then realize that Fortnite exists because PUBG got popular. Fortnite wasn't invented to be a battle royale. It just so happened to fucking spawn that way because PUBG was so popular. Fortnite didn't invent emotes, custom skins, weapon skins, fucking fancy parachutes. Fortnite didn't invent any of that shit. Fortnite didn't even invent the genre. Neither did PUBG. So the whole copying Fortnite thing is a dumbass fucking thing to say. I've been seeing it everywhere because it's a constant war between the two fan bases. Despite the fact that they're so wildly different that I'm still trying to figure out why people compare them so directly all the time in the first place. But just absolutely silly. Whoa, right before the podcast, Nintendo Direct happened. They had a bunch of things to chat about there. The highlights, I guess, here to talk about. New Smash Brothers coming to the Switch. Not a remastered one, not like a brought over from one of the old consoles and redone for the Switch, like 60% of the catalog of the console right now. It's actually a brand new Smash Brothers coming sometime this year. I don't know if they have a title for it yet. I didn't see if they did, but that is on its way, and that's pretty huge because that's one of those core Nintendo titles now.
Well, that's going to sell some Switches.
Yeah,
it's going to sell a lot of Switches.
Especially when you think about the multiplayer focus of the console, right? In terms of like the local stuff, and I can't imagine trying to have multiplayer on the...
No.
Can you imagine doing Smash on one of those, like just one half of the Switch controller? Your hand would be mangled in no time. I guess the question goes now, and I don't know if it exists already, but if maybe it will in the future. You know how on the Wii U they had adapters so that you could use GameCube controllers.
Yeah, you can already use that. You can already get those on the Switch.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
you can
okay.
already use those.
Well, then there you go.
I had somebody tell me that I don't even think it was somebody on the stream. I think it was like somebody I met in person. They said, I think I was in Vegas at the time, and we were talking about. They were like, "Oh, what you do on your way here?" And I was like, "I was playing, or my wife was playing the Switch." I brought the Switch, but my wife was hogging and playing Mario, and they're like, "Yeah, I play Mario Odyssey, but I'm using the GameCube controller." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Yeah, there's a hookup that you can get that you can hook up the old GameCube controllers." So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh yeah, and that's kind of they set a precedent for that in the past now. So if they don't have that option, the Smash community is going to be just livid. So it's good that they already have that. Somebody in chat saying they're not convinced and it might still be like a Smash Bros 4.5, which is possible. I would hope that Nintendo does just a new Smash Brothers for the Switch. I think
they will.
There's got to be some sort of limit where they're bringing back all these titles and just, you know, pawning them off like.
It's either that or they bring back the old Smash Bros from the N64.
Like go super deep.
Go very, very old school and bring that to the Switch. I'd fuck with that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the Switch should be able to emulate N64 stuff too, so maybe at some point we could see something like that. For sure. And then and the other one that you and I are interested in, Octopath Traveller. You saw some more of that not long ago. I think a couple podcasts ago you had mentioned mentioned that. So that's actually got a release date now. I think it's July 13th.
Sweet.
So we're not that far out.
Picking that up for sure.
Yep, be able to play that, and that'll be kind of fun to see because obviously it's a really unique looking game for sure, and it's a more traditional Japanese RPG kind of gameplay experience, but they've been working, you know, closer with the community than you would expect with Japanese RPGs. It's not exactly a genre in which you are used to seeing developers spend an awful lot of time with the community to try and work stuff out. So they've been pretty active with the community when they put out the demo and whatnot, getting feedback and stuff on how the game is coming along, and they've already made a substantial list of changes to the game based on that feedback. So there's a really good shot that the game is pretty good when it comes out. But for sure, the number one thing for me was when I first saw it was just visually it looked ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Looks absolutely ridiculous. Anything else gaming-wise that you've experienced this week, Mr. Black? Other than the Mist thing, for sure. That was big news. Excited for that.
Yeah, that's it. I don't really listen to much gaming news out there, so I mean, I saw the Mist thing, and I was pretty excited about that, and I didn't even hear about the PUBG and Fortnite stuff, so my head's just been kind of ducked down and doing my thing.
Overwatch dreams.
Yeah, that's
where are you right now? What SR are we at right now?
I think like 1976 or 78 or some shit.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like Led Zeppelin.
I am the Led Zeppelin. Forever.
I
went up like 500. I went up like 500 points in the last week, so it was pretty good. The thing is, I'm just solo queuing, right? I play games with you, but I've just been fucking solo queuing, so it's been it's been a struggle, but either way, it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, I haven't been playing as much as you. I think I'm still stuck in like the 1870, 1880 mark. I'm so salty. It's so hard for me to want to like try.
I know.
Because I was so much higher, and it's such a daunting thing. Like climbing Overwatch points is no joke. When you're not really fucking good at the game, it takes so much effort. And so to be look at my SR now, and then look at where I started, and then just think about I have to not think about it because if I sit there and I go, Adam, you have 700 SR to climb to get back to where you were. My brain says, nope, let's go play some solitaire. Just get off of this
some PUBG.
Just anything. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it is rough for sure. But I've been using, I guess if there was a positive thing that came out of that's come out of it so far is that while I'm still playing my core 3 heroes in the majority, almost in equal, Diva, Reinhardt, and Mercy, I've been taking the time playing with, down in silver and gold to try and add some more heroes to my repertoire. So I've been poking around now with Roadhog and Pharah and Junkrat and trying to add some more filler roles. I main tank and healer, and I can play most of them okay, but really, if you take me away in tank mode from Reinhardt or Diva, then I'm not going to be nearly as effective. I'll be okay, but I'm not going to be very good. And so I want to have Roadhog because he's so damn good. Roadhog is absolutely
a
monster.
Good in almost every game. He's like Soldier, right? You can't really fucking go that wrong with him.
I'm just terrible hook accuracy. Just awful. just absolutely atrocious. I was playing with Major the other day, and I had him dying. He was crying. He was laughing so hard because I was like, and by the end of the game, I was like, good news. I went 2 for 15 hooks, and he just lost it. 2 for 15. That was. I
call you Captain Hook.
Oh, exactly. I was like, in my mind when I first started playing Roadhog forever ago, I was like, oh, this will be like Thresh. Because I landed every fucking hook with Thresh in League. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I can't hit the broadside of a barn with that friggin' hook. It is awful. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Mr. Black.
Yeah.
Hit me up with a little movie and TV jingle.
Movies.
TV. The Oscars happened in the last week.
Yeah.
That's a thing. You watched those, didn't you?
I watched about an hour of it and then turned it off. I was like,
that good, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty
did you tire of people using the Oscars as a social platform to shove their ideals?
It wasn't that bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but I think it wasn't terrible. It was like the worst rated Oscars in history, I think. In terms of ratings.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, so I don't know. It just wasn't all that. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Never really cared about Oscars all that much, but I usually just watch just because it's the spectacle of it, seeing who's getting snubbed and watching all these rich, famous people in a building and wearing all their ugly, fancy designer shit. That's pretty much it.
I'm happy for what's his name, dude, who did Get Out from Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, he got an Oscar.
He got that. A lot of people thought that it wasn't going to happen. Like there was I'm sure you probably heard tell of this, where there were apparently a bunch of the judges who refused to watch the movie because they said it wasn't an Oscar movie.
Yeah, they can go eat an asshole. So, you know what? The board of people that give out these awards are probably like 70 to 90-year-old white old ass fucking pussy dust. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
All right, that's an image. That's an image. I'm just envisioning like, you know, the Mystery Science Theater 3000 with just like a bunch of fucking piles of pussy dust in seats watching Oscar movies.
This is a bunch of pussy dust.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either, but I feel like the people that give out those awards are pussy dust. Like they're just a big fucking pile of it. I would imagine.
Is that what Elton John sprinkled himself with before going on stage?
Yeah, just pussy dust. Just put it all sprinkle.
Not Elton John, but what's his name? Liberace or whatever.
Yeah, sprinkle a little pussy dust on there. That's pretty much it.
Oh my god. It's true though. When I saw that, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! You literally only have one job. You just watch some movies and you fucking
watch fucking movies,
and you're gonna sit there and be like, "Nah, man, I don't want to watch that movie.
It's too black.
It's too black,
and it's just it's like a horror comedy. It doesn't know what it is.
Oh my god,
it's too black.
It's incredible."
That's pretty much it for the Oscars.
That, and then Kobe Bryant got an Oscar for his little short from his retirement called Dear Basketball. Did you see that happened?
Say what?
So Kobe Bryant got an Oscar, the basketball player. You see this?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
For his short that was done based on the letter he wrote after he retired.
Which
is pretty fire, because when I first heard the letter thing, it was just obviously just audio or whatever. It was just him reading it. I had no idea that they had done a short based on it.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, I saw. Yeah. I was like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Yeah, Kobe Bryant and such with whatever." And I was like, "What the fuck, Kobe Bryant?" And then he's like, "Yeah, Kobe wins." I'm like, "Oh my god."
Right, okay.
All right, and then there was like a bunch of like once again pussy fart dusts or whatever the fuck we call them. Some people were complaining after the fact. They're like, "Oh, Kobe allegedly raped some girls and he's too black. So why are they celebrating him and blah blah blah?" They're like, "We got rid of Ryan Seacrest." It's just a bunch of Oscar cunts.
The Oscars is such a dumb fucking event.
Yep.
I always found it hilarious that all the nominees get like $100,000 worth of shit in a basket. I'm just like, why? You're talking about people who are almost, except for like, you know, the sound engineers or like the, you know, the best makeup or whatever, you know, those guys aren't balling out of control, but the majority of the people getting put up for these Oscars are already filthy fucking rich. Why do they need like a trip for 19 to the Bahamas or whatever, and like all inclusive, just everything paid for, helicopter rides to the moon, whatever the shit they can put together? Just silly.
They did one funny thing at the Oscars with the jet ski. Did you see that shit?
No, what was that?
All right, so Jimmy Kimmel, he hosted the Oscars, and he said like last year everybody was going way too long and the speeches were too long, and so that what they decided to do is they had like a Price is Right thing where they're like, let me see what you can win, and then they open up the curtain and there was a big fucking jet ski that was worth like 17 grand, and they had like, you know, somebody showing it off and stuff, and he says, now whoever gives the shortest speech gets the jet ski. And apparently they actually had to like lawyer up and shit and get a whole bunch of official people to like take the time when they're handed the Oscar.
Serious?
Yeah. So it wasn't from like when your name got called. It was from whenever you got handed your Oscar to the podium. And then like one of the sound guys or some shit did it in 36 seconds and he won the jet ski. And they get a trip to a place like halfway through the Oscars. And they're like, all right, guys, it's you know, it's a tight race so far, but now we're gonna sweeten the pot. And then they did like a trip to some hillbilly place in a fucking like Quality Inn or some shit where you go to race jet skis and shit. It was just like it was funny. Like it was pretty funny how they did that. And then like everybody would go up there and be like, man, I gotta hurry up. If I want to get that jet ski. Like they're always talking with the jet ski in their speech. They're like, fuck, the pressure's on for this jet ski. So I thought that was pretty funny.
That's
fire. That was pretty funny. Yeah, and then they went over to the theater across the street, and they got like a whole bunch of stars like Gal Gadot and Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, and like a whole bunch of big ass celebrities walked over there because they wanted to give appreciation to the viewers.
Okay.
So they went into the movie theater and they were getting ready to watch the new Oprah shit movie.
Yeah, it looks terrible. Yeah.
And then the screen went out, and then they all walked in. They had like hot dog guns, and they were shooting hot dogs in the crowd and giving out candy, and everybody was going crazy. And it was actually quite funny. There's this cute little moment though that wasn't on the show. I was watching Jimmy. I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel's YouTube. It was like some behind the scenes footage, and somebody was like filming with a cell phone. And Mark Hamill is standing beside Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
And they're both just she's like, you know, the life of the party. She's kind of leading the charge with Jimmy Kimmel, and she's standing there, and they're getting ready to go in, and Mark Hamill's just like sitting there, just
being
sitting
Mark
there,
Hamill.
and he's like, hi. He's like, hi, Gal Gadot. I'm Mark Hamill. It's nice to meet you. And it was almost like it was like, dude, you're Luke Skywalker, man. Like, get some balls. Like, and she's like, oh, so nice to meet you.
That's fucking amazing.
It was funny watching like a superstar go to
another
superstar and awkwardly try to introduce himself without being like in the way or looking weird or whatever, but it was pretty funny. I was like, okay, that was cute, Mark Hamill. I like you, Mark.
I fucking love Mark Hamill, man. Mark Hamill's a godforsaken legend, that guy.
Yeah, he is.
And speaking of, I'll use that as my segue, even though I had other Oscars things to talk about, but fuck it, we can go back to it if we need to for time. Segue to that is Mark Hamill on Twitter responded to somebody who was talking about the Witcher, Netflix show or whatever, saying that Mark Hamill should play a certain character. I can't remember which character it was. And Mark responded saying, I have no idea what the hell the Witcher is, but sure, I'll be in the show. to which the internet was like, oh my God, please, yes. Mark Hamill, come on, baby. Get in there. And then also, of course, Mark just recently got his star finally on the Walk of Fame
He did. Yeah, I saw that.
That happened, and he even convinced Harrison and George to show up for the celebration, which is 2 shut-ins basically. For that is pretty good. You gotta you have some clout when you can get old Georgie and Harrison out of the fucking house to come to an event with the public.
Yep. No, that was good. Good for him.
Yeah, he got that there.
Well deserved.
And he's one of the people that didn't buy his star, which many people have done in the past, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
So yeah, no, I was happy to see him finally make that happen. I started following Mark on Twitter like 3 months ago, and it's been he's one of my favorite people on Twitter now. That dude is just he's just fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I would love to have a drink with Mark and just talk about shit, because he seems like he could talk about anything and everything for long periods of time, and I would listen to it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even need to talk.
No, just all right, Mark. You just do what. I don't care what
Get
topics.
Get this man another
just
drink.
Go.
You just keep going, Mark.
just
you keep going.
I'm gonna soak it in. Just gonna listen to you talk for a bit. Okay, so the only thing I have here, and you might be able to fill in some more if you have anything else. Only other thing I have here. This headline grabbed my attention. I don't give a shit about anything else, but the headline itself, I felt like it was a sentence that nobody ever expected to see written in English or any other language. John Travolta to star in Fred Durst directed thriller Moose. I'm going to say that one more time just in case we missed a couple of those key words in this title. John Travolta to star in Fred Durst directed thriller Moose.
It's a whole lot of nope. I mean, that's just not only okay. For one, I was out at John Travolta. All right, I was just gone because that guy's fucking weird. I
fucking packed it in.
That guy is a fucking weirdo. All right, so there's the nope. Then you throw out the Fred Durst, and now I get kind of interested. Where I'm halfway back in.
This is Fred Durst.
And then you got me at the directing of a thriller shitstorm, and now Moose. I'm out again. Called Moose. No, I'm good. No, thank you. There will be no theatrical release. That is a straight to DVD, not even
VHS.
Blu-ray.
That's not VHS.
Yeah, VHS.
Get your local Blockbuster soon.
Jesus Christ. Fuck no. And the weird thing about it is I saw Fred Durst on like TMZ the other day.
What?
And I'm like, what the fuck is Fred Durst doing on TMZ?
I didn't know he was alive anymore. I thought he died or some shit.
Nah, he was talking about some like artist that him and some other person.
Moby?
I don't know. He's talking about, no, he's like producing some artist. Like they're getting ready to like launch some new artist.
Moby?
And I don't fucking know who it is. I have no idea who the fuck it is. But either way, they go fucking just fuck off somewhere. Like how does Fred Durst get into a room with John Travolta?
How does he get a director?
And how the fuck is he a director? And who's giving him this budget? Because I know he ain't got the money to do it himself. So what is going on here? It's
what if old Freddie joins Scientology and Scientology's back in this project?
That's the only way. That's the only way I can see this happening. Scientology front and center. Either that or John Travolta's fucking Fred Durst is one of the two. Because I've been hearing, because there's some shit around there that John Travolta likes him some man ass
stuff.
He loves him some man ass.
He doesn't like. You know what he doesn't like, Jeff? He doesn't
Scientology.
He doesn't like that pussy dust.
He does not like that pussy dust.
He's not about that pussy dust life. He's just not about it.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
Man sweat. That fucking Gucci man sweat.
Oh, my God. I gotta say, that's probably my favorite headline I've read in 2018 so far, because if you just put a bunch of names into a hat, that's what it feels like, is that you put a bunch of names into a hat and just drew names and then plugged them in. It was like Mad Libs for fucking movie titles.
It feels like I'm playing that game, fuck, man, the one that everybody plays, dude. Fucking, the one that we played, the board game. or not board game, but with the Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, Cards,
And you pull out 2 cards, and you got John Travolta, and you've got Fred Durst, and then you've got director of Moose, and then you put them together, and you win that round. Like everybody picks that thing.
The one card it's missing is Ryan Gosling riding in on a white horse. That's the one.
Or pussy dust.
Or pussy dust.
Pussy dust. If that's not on the next volume of Cards Against Humanity, I don't know what is.
Pussy Dust is the title of Moby's new hit album.
Pussy Dust. Oh, fuck.
Oh, good God. Anything else happen in the world of movies and television that
what's his name?
John Travolta.
No, the other John. Trevorrow, or however you pronounce his name. The director of fucking Iron Man and
You know why you think about that? You know what I'm gonna do?
and Jungle Book. Fucking someone's gonna say it in chat.
The name of this podcast on the RSS feed is officially going to be John Travolta to star in Fred Durst directed thriller Moose.
Watch it get thousands of views just out of curiosity.
Oh, good. That's the name of this episode.
Oh man. John
Favreau.
Thank you. I always fuck up his last name. Anyway, he's gonna be producing and writing the new live action Star Wars series.
That's
right. Gonna be coming out.
I heard there was some people not pleased with that for some reason, or there's something going on there.
People aren't pleased. I mean, I can't see that why they wouldn't be pleased with John Favreau doing his thing, because that guy's a genius.
They're all pulling for Fred Durst.
But yeah, I mean that's like the only other news that I heard.
So that's a TV thing, right?
Yeah.
Is there a network that's going like NB, like is it not
Netflix.
NBC? It's a Netflix thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been for sure.
Oh wait,
no, that's gotta be a TV thing.
No, I think what they're no. I think it is. One sec here. I think Disney's coming up with their own streaming service.
Yeah,
and it's going to be on that.
Oh, okay. So
I think it's going to be on that. One sec here. I'm gonna double check.
Maybe that's why people were salty about it. Because it's going to be on Disney's.
Yeah,
streaming
Disney's
service.
readying for a streaming service to compete with Netflix.
Right.
And it has been signaled that this new Star Wars will be a major component, and it's supposed to launch in 2019.
Oh, it's not that far out then.
Yeah, I think what the backlash that some people are giving is there's too much Star Wars, right?
No, fair enough. Like burnout,
and
you're gonna start.
And people are just saying like the magic of Star Wars is going away because there's too much Star Wars, and I get that. Like, and there is truth to it for sure. But honestly, I would rather like Star Wars once a year than having it once every 15 years. I'd much rather get it once a year, as long as they're doing an episode and then they do a spinoff and they do an episode or they do a spinoff. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with going to the theater and giving them my money every year, because no matter what, even Star Wars Episode 8, which is one of my least favorite Star Wars movies to date, better than all the prequels, but probably worse than every other Star Wars that I've seen.
Yeah.
Given that there were some awesome moments, definitely some really great moments, some standout moments in the movie, but I think in general, it's still a good time. So, it's not like I go there and I'm like, oh, this was absolutely horrendous. Like, you're fucking killing this for me. It's you just left a little, like, I would say maybe a little let down, but only because my expectations for Star Wars is so high. But even still, leaving the theater, I didn't leave like pissed. I wasn't like, oh, what a waste of money. Worth the wait, I guess. But I think people are just too much Star Wars, and I get it.
I think that's fair. I mean, there is an awful, crazy amount of that going on for sure. John Wick 3 filming in Montreal soon. Let's go.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Let's go.
Hopefully it'll be the last one. Just want it.
So I would love it to be the last one.
Be awesome and be done.
Well, I mean, yeah. It would be. I would imagine it would be the last one that Keanu does, because I feel like he just doesn't care about the money as much as other people. So even if they came back, if he was happy with the body of work of the trilogy, that he'd just say, "Well, yeah, go ahead, but I'm not."
Yeah, they might do spin-offs or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
like I'm not going to be part of it. I'd be down for a TV series that filled in some of the lore, backstory stuff or whatever, which I think they're already planning on doing something like that, or they talked about it.
I could definitely see it, being a show on Netflix or something like that, or like a 10-episode thing.
Yeah.
There's actually another old school sci-fi. Maybe somebody in the chat will know what it is. That is coming out. That was it was out in the 90s.
Okay.
And it was a sci-fi. And it's being released, I think, in April, and it looks pretty fucking good. Oh man,
Fraggle Rock.
No, it looks very, very. Let me see here. Sci-fi, Netflix. I'm trying to find it here. But it looks pretty friggin' cool. And when Lost in Space, there it is.
Mark's got you.
Yeah, Lost in Space. You should go after the stream or podcast.
Yeah.
You should go and check out the trailer for it. Actually, looks pretty friggin' good.
Okay.
It's a weird. It looks weird. I've never seen the older stuff, so I don't really know. And it's supposed to be like a 10-episode thing that's coming to Netflix. The budget looks really solid. And it's got. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for space. Like I'm a sucker for exploration.
Yeah.
And weird shit like that. And this just looks cool. It looks like almost. It's not too dark. It's like almost not family like, but it's still. It feels family friendly, but it still feels intriguing. Like it feels like it's got like an ET feel to it.
Oh,
but
okay.
Like it feels like a Stranger Things meets. I don't know, some other awesome sci-fi. It just looks cool, so I'm looking forward to that. I saw a trailer for it. People should go check out the trailer.
And that's a TV thing, not a Netflix
it's Netflix.
thing? Oh, it is Netflix.
It's Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Netflix.
Okay.
And that's coming soon. So
nice. Like in the next couple of months or something? Or
I think in April. I think it's coming in April.
Oh, okay, so real soon.
Yeah,
then.
next month. But yeah, so yeah, if you guys want to go check that out, you should go and just search Lost in Space Netflix trailer and go check that out. It looks cool.
I'm going to shock you with this one, Jeff. A Wrinkle in Time can't beat Black Panther at the box office.
No. A Wrinkle in Time got some really bad reviews too.
Color me shocked.
Yeah, I mean they're pushing it pretty hard, and I never felt like it looked good. I mean, it's got a Rotten Tomato score of 44. The critics are coming in now, and this is Thursday. I mean, the reviews are just coming out now.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
probably
so
by Sunday, this shit will probably be like I'm gonna call it a 31%.
Oh
Rotten
shit!
Tomatoes. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Where is it now?
44%.
Oh,
yeah. So the average rating is
because the early ones are usually higher than whatever comes later.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the early ones are pressers, so that the critics can go in, and a lot of people don't know, but certain pressers, like some people get flown out to places to go watch, and although you're not paid to review and stuff, they hook you up, and it's almost like this thing in Hollywood where with the media, not all of them can be bought, but there are definitely strategic things that companies will do to really give you the it's kind of like when somebody does something really nice for you, and you
feel like there's a moral obligation to return the favor.
Yes. So even though they're not completely shitting on the movie, and they're not going against their moral ground as a critic, they are just being nicer about it, or really talking about the nicer attributes of the film, and leaving out maybe some of the horrific stuff. So typically after a few days, the scores go down, and I'm sure that's going to go down for A Wrinkle in Time. It looks like ass, and I will not be going to the theater to watch it. And yes, Black Panther will continue to crush. The Rock's movie Rampage,
Yes.
they pushed that back another week because of Infinity War. How they
right, they moved
they did
that
their
up.
whole So everybody's just playing fucking
Shuffling,
backup seas
yeah.
right now, and they're trying to stay clear out of
Infinity
this
War.
movie's way because they need like 2 weeks. They basically need their week and then the week after for there to not be a lot, like no major release, so they can continue to dominate for 2 weeks in a row, and then the next summer movie sort of happens. It's usually like once every 3 weeks a big film comes out, and then once every like 2 weeks like this maybe shitty rom-com or some shit comes out that is only projected to do like 10-15 million, and then the other blockbusters. But Black Panther, I think after tonight, should hit the $1 billion club. So yeah, and it still hasn't even opened in China and stuff. So I mean,
I wonder how
still
like
got foreign box office.
Do they have projections for how they think the film's going to do in China?
Typically, they thought it was going to do bad.
Right.
But now they're saying it's tracking to do well because of the Panther. And Chadwick Boseman, he actually is the most popular man in China for 2018.
What?
So he actually got an award for being the most popular or influential, or I don't know what I think it was popular man in China, because he is a Black Panther, which I guess is very huge in their culture. And so everybody in China is like, Black Panther, he's Black Panther.
How trippy is that when you get the phone call up yes, we need to actually get you on a plane. We're gonna go to China because
I think they did the award in the States. I want to say they did the. I could be talking about my ass, but I wanted to say.
Something?
But where he went, they said like it was all in Chinese. Like he had no idea what the fuck. They gave him like they did the whole China thing, and then he was like, "Thank you," and he did all that. So apparently he's the most popular man in China for 2018.
That's really crazy. That's amazing. That's kind of cool. Well, there you go. Well, I hope it does well in China. I imagine it will, if that's the case. But hopefully it does
most.
well.
Oh, okay, so most popular actor in China.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
have it. So not
it.
person, I guess. Most popular actor in China.
Beating out Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
For the top spot.
It's because the whole Black Panther. Yeah. So there's a video, like legit. I'll put it in the chat there, of him like accepting the Chinese, what is this? The Chinese American Film Festival, and he got the reward or the award. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm gonna assume that it's gonna do well in China. It's gonna do well in China because the Marvel movies, a lot of the superhero movies and such, they haven't been tracking all that well in China.
Okay.
It's like a hit or a miss. Like, movies like Transformers and shit, like they're fucking all over it. But like the Marvel movies have been a hit or a miss. And, especially with like a leading black, like it's all black people, right?
Yeah.
And the Chinese culture isn't really obsessed with African Americans, right?
No.
It's more of an American obsession, but typically like a white American, the whole. So to have an entire black cast that is very black, all over the place, like music, costumes, like a total African, you name it. It was like one of these things where they're like, you know what? We don't know if it's definitely not gonna beat domestic, but we'll see what it does. And now they're thinking, well, it might track a little bit better than we thought because the Black Panther and the Cat and all this other stuff with China, this could be a big deal.
Well, we'll find out, I guess, in the next. Do we know when it hits the?
I think it was supposed to be like, it might be next week.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can check.
Well, we'll find out about it one way or another because that will probably be a relatively big headline, whether it does good or bad.
Yeah, like Last Jedi did bad in China. It's projected to do. It's projected to do 60 million in China opening weekend. So we'll see. Who knows?
No, we'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out. I know you were looking forward to this one, Jeff. WWE icon Ric Flair casted in R-rated wrestling comedy.
Okay, Ric Flair's been around the gauntlet. He's in that rap video. Did you see that? You see that? You see that video? How could you not see it? It's all over YouTube and shit. And he's
Ric Flair,
all he is in the video,
what's
like
it called? Ric Flair swag or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ric Flair drip or some weird thing.
I don't know. But it's just Ric Flair walking around, looking at girls, looking creepy as fuck, doing it, screaming "woo" and doing his
whole shtick,
his whole thing. I don't even think he does like the
he doesn't even
walk.
do the walk.
He doesn't even do the walk. I don't think he did the
Oh.
walk. I'm not sure. I'd have to watch it again. I just laughing.
Oh man. I mean, okay,
But,
so
yeah.
Ric Flair, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Fairness to him. But when he retired and his daughter is in wrestling now, and she's one of the top wrestlers, athletically gifted as hell, really, really good in the ring, obviously had her father to mentor her in wrestling, which is a pretty good start that not a lot of people would have. He spent way too much time showing up and being like her manager and shit, and they were working him into like storylines, and it was so awkward and like vaguely sexual because obviously his daughter is fighting other women wrestlers and he was getting involved, and it was just an old dirty man standing at ringside, looked like he was just hammered 24/7. It was so
That's
awkward.
because he was hammered 24/7.
Yeah, and
the guy's like almost died and shit. Like
they've definitely backed him off on that a little bit now, which is nice. And I haven't seen the what is it, 30 for 30 or whatever that they did on him just recently. I want to watch that for sure. But yeah, so there you go.
3/4 of the female roster in the WWE is the offspring of old
other wrestlers. Yeah,
It's
even some of the
literally,
guys are still like that too. But yeah, it's true, especially the female wrestler side of thing.
It's almost
things, yeah.
like 75% are like children of old, juiced up, addict wrestlers, and then the fathers are just kind of there. They just kind of, I don't know what it is with the WWE, but they just can't seem to let go of the legends. You know what I mean? Like they stick around for a long time, and they do like a run. They try and come back, and they're all busted up, and they're overweight. And it's just
every now and then they
madness.
bring them back out and stuff and parade them around a bit, and people get happy because they like seeing the older wrestlers, and then they go away, and yeah, but Rick just did not want to go. He wasn't even technically wrestling. He was just standing around like awkwardly being involved in the female side. It was just kind of weird. I don't know what else I have for you here.
That's
I don't
pretty much
know.
it.
I can tell you that The Walking Dead is a pile of horseshit.
Dude, I haven't watched that shit since I think season 4 or 5.
Gabs
I'm not
and
sure.
I didn't watch the several seasons. I've watched
What is
the
that?
last
Negan?
3.
Is his name Negan?
Negan, yeah.
I didn't even get to that whole thing.
Yeah.
The last part that I was at, they were breaking not out of the jail. It was like after the jail. And then they were like, I remember them in some containers. They were like in some shipping containers and shit. And yeah, that was pretty much the last. The guy with the eye patch, he was done. And I don't even remember. I don't even know. The show just got so fucking dumb. It got so dumb, dude. It was
the writers have been unbelievably lazy, like just really crazy lazy, and kind of wasting the source material because the comics are not nearly as poorly written as the TV series. And they, you know what it's starting to feel like? It's starting to feel like Dragon Ball Z, where you'll have like 4 episodes of build up for one really anticlimactic fucking payoff. And when they introduced Negan, it was great when it first happened because the guy who plays Negan fucking smashes it. Just smashes the role, right? But they use him in so many episodes back to back to back, and the way that the episode played out would be identically every time. Like the flow of it would be exactly the same, just with different characters involved. and you just get the same Negan payoff at the end, and it was just like, all right, look, we know he's really fucking good, and Negan is the most exciting thing that's happened to the show in a fucking long time, but you've already burnt people out on Negan, and we're only one season into him being part of the show, and he's not going anywhere
But that's
anytime
not even
soon.
his final form, Adam. That's not his final. Deal with it.
I just watch when he comes out. Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, that's his name. He just comes out and he does the Negan, I call it the Negan lean, where every syllable that he has or the end of every word, he's gonna act like he just threw a hip. Have you watched him on the show, like when he talks? No,
I watched highlights of him fucking up some characters when all that shit went down.
He talks and he's just like, well, how about that? And he just gets further and further and further back from like wherever he's talking to the point. The Negan lean. And he just, how about, and it's like everything's emphasized. He just leans back, and it obviously it adds to the character, and he's so relaxed, and he's got to play it off like he's the most relaxed person in the world, but he's also a psychopath and whatnot. But it's I don't know. Rick is the worst character possibly in the history of popular television.
Yeah, I never liked Rick. He's just not charismatic. He's not likable.
No.
He's very monotone.
He's not even
a great actor. He's annoying. They should kill him off. He sweats
a lot. You ever notice, have you ever watched Walking Dead? In every scene, everyone else is bone dry, and then the camera will pan to Rick, and his eyes are as red like he's blown 8 lines of coke just 3 seconds before. And his eyes are like wide open, and his hair is just drenched head to toe. It's like he went for a swim.
He is wet a lot. Yeah,
he went for a swim. He came out, and he's constantly, there's a drip coming off his nose in every single scene.
He's got to focus on those lines, man. He's got to focus on those lines. I heard the writers. This was recently, and I was watching one of my movie news things I watch, and one of the writers says, we have enough Walking Dead material for the show to last another 10 years.
They don't, which they
and
don't,
when I,
by the
and
way.
when I,
they
and
don't,
when I heard,
but
when I heard that shit, I just was like, what the fuck?
All right, Jeff, here's choose your fighter, all right? Okay? 13 more Transformer movies already written.
Oof.
Or 10 years of The Walking Dead. What?
I'm going Transformers all day, because with Transformers, I only got to watch that shit once every like 3 years.
True.
And
Fair.
I go anyway,
Fair.
and there is some popcorn stupid fun to be had with some. It gets dumb. It always gets dumb. But I'd rather have Michael Bay doing Michael Bay than have another 10 years of The Walking Dead. I mean, it's not even a zombie show. It's just fucking dumb. It's drama with zombies in there. And then did you hear the whole fucking the big conspiracy where The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad are in the same universe?
I heard that.
And then they showed a bag of the blue crystal meth that was in an episode that was like tucked back somewhere. It was like, and this was, I don't know how long ago, but I watched the whole video on this shit. But there on the table or on the floor or some shit, there was a bag of blue crystal meth, like just sitting there. And then everybody was like, oh fuck, the Breaking Bad is gonna come back and it's gonna mix in with The Walking Dead. It's in the same universe.
Oh, that would be so bad.
And they were thinking that the crystal meth was the thing that made the people turn. And it was just like, oh fuck, it was just craziness.
I mean,
it's all AMC.
I've seen some people that have done meth that look like walkers, so maybe that's not far from the truth.
You never know.
You just never know. No, but it's bad. Like I watch it with Gabs, and she's even like, when I started complaining about it, she was still like, oh, it's good, it's good show, it's good. And now she's starting to go like, all right, you know what, you're probably right. The show's pretty bad now, but we're watching it because you get into it, and you're like, well, now I got to see it through. Now I have to just.
It's like Lost, man. It's like Lost.
Now
right?
I have to go through the motions. I've got to watch it happen. I'm gonna see where this train goes. But if they're gonna tell me they got 10 years of this shit, I'm gonna be noping out of that so fast. Because I bet you I don't even.
Just think about this being 40 years old and the show is still going.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Thank you. It's already bad enough that I gotta wait another year for Game of Thrones, a show that actually is good. And with Game of Thrones, we only get 6 more episodes.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in this show as Negan for 10 more years. Whenever he tried to do the Negan lean, he'd throw his back out. Get too old.
The only way they could ever do this show for 10 more years if literally the cast dies. Like, everybody's gone and it's a whole new it's a whole new show.
Yeah.
Like, time goes on, like, 100 years in the future or whatever. And it's
just such a frustrating show because none of the characters... Like everyone, I kind of got to the point where I just don't like anyone because all of the characters are just assholes. Yeah. They use no sense at all. Nobody thinks, and when they do that, you can see that they're just doing it for the sake of plot devices. So it's like this character wouldn't actually do this, but we're doing it because it's the only way that we can set up this shitty plot device over here. So. Enjoy it, and Rick has been obviously bearing that cross more than anyone else. The shit that he has decided to do, fuck me. Just some of the most terrible writing in the history of popular television. And what's worse about AMC, I'm going to cap this off with this because I can sit here and shit on Walking Dead way too long, is that the AMC is the worst network I've ever seen for advertisements. Nobody else plays more fucking ads than the AMC, and they play them as often as they possibly can. You get like 5.5 minutes of The Walking Dead, and then you get 10.5 minutes of advertisements. Half of those ads are the same ad repeated 3 times separately at different points of the ad break. And
they probably only have 40 minutes of show, and then it's like 20 minutes of fucking ads throughout an hour.
At least 20. I think it might be more than 20.
Oof.
And then on top of that, whoever does the encoding for it, because they are hell-bent on using film grain in this show, like heavy-handed film grain. It's like they're using shitty cameras, and so they want to cover up how shitty they are. I have no idea, but they use so much film grain that when you send that out for network television, it's like watching a shitty stream on Twitch TV where you can see every fucking block of the encode. And then the audio guys are godforsaken fucking terrible. You either can't hear a word anyone says, or you get deafened by whatever the fuck else happens in the show. Those are your 2 options in The Walking Dead. Is you listen to what's happening, or you put the captions on and don't go deaf. Those are your 2 fucking options. So it's just poor from top to bottom, and then they have the balls to go and do the Talking Dead episodes immediately afterwards. Just stop. Just like I'm going to stop talking about The Walking Dead now. Let's do some tech support, Mr. Black. Can we have a little jingle tech support?
Tech support. You send in your questions. We answer them.
Beauty. All right, we actually had, I was afraid because for a while we only had like 3 that were sitting on this. I was like, oh. But now we actually have a few hitting us up here. Let's see what we've got. Mr. Black. Nobi or Nobe. I'm not sure which of that. First of all, he's a $50 lifetime supporter. Shout outs.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What's your favorite outdated slang or phrase?
Slang or phrase that's outdated?
Fuck
her right in the pussy.
Is that really outdated though? Because he's still the president.
That's grab her by the pussy.
Oh, right. Oh, that's true. That was a modification.
That was a modification.
That's true.
Fuck her right in the pussy. I still say that shit, and I say it so randomly. and I say it so much that if I'm upstairs and Kayla and I are just sitting there and we're watching TV or whatever, or just laying in bed, I always say this. I say, you know what I always say? And she goes, fuck her right in the pussy.
She's so tired of hearing it.
Yeah,
she just doesn't want to hear it again.
Every single time, dude. Every single time, man. She just knows it's coming.
Oh.
She's salty.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd have to go with that.
I'll say my favorite is rad. I don't use it personally, but the people who still use it somehow are coincidentally also the people that can get away with using it and not sounding like a douche.
That's rad, bro.
Yeah.
Rad.
But the one that I can't, there's 2 that I can't get away from saying. They're both outdated and they're both douchey things, and I can't stop. Is rip, can't stop.
Yeah,
it just
you
it
do
comes
say
out-
rip a lot.
I can't like and there was a period of time where I would actually like punch myself to try and like shock therapy. It's like I always said, rip, better punch myself in the dick. Just get that out of the system.
You do say that. You do say rip quite a bit.
Oh, I go on tears with it, and then fire is also needs to go away. That's been 80% of my vocabulary when talking about things that I'm enjoying that I need to slow my roll on. But yeah, that's definitely those two need to. Well, when I'm on Twitch, you just see rip so often. It's it's ingrained in my. Yeah, exactly. Half the time I don't even realize. Half the time I don't even realize I'm saying it. It just comes out of my mouth.
Rip.
Yeah. So there you go. Those are mine. What do you got? Did you get a question?
Let me see here. I didn't even have it open.
Getting
in there now. Unless you see another one.
I got you. Stuka. We all know Stuka, the master of the timestamps on YouTube. $115 lifetime support. He's paying us to do timestamps, basically.
Woo!
Number one bucket list item. I don't think we've done bucket list stuff before, but number one, what is the? We have like a list, but what would be the number one bucket list item?
Like the one that I want to do first,
or more than if you could only have one of your bucket list items, I guess. Let's say if you only could have one, what's your bucket list item?
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
That's a tough question.
I don't even know I don't even know I can think of many things on my bucket list. Like most of them are travel. Like there's places I want to travel.
I think I'd probably use it to meet somebody.
Honestly, I and this is gonna sound pretty fucking lame. And no, it doesn't mean anything.
I've got it more lame. I got it more lame than you, bro. So
nah,
hit me up.
I don't think so. And this doesn't mean shit, guys. So before anybody in the chat,
I like this preface right now. This is
trolls
good.
Or anything like that.
Is it a three-way?
No, it's I would say it's probably to have kids.
Okay, there you go. That's the
eventually. Like it's not, it's because
you're gonna dump that on Kayla. You're gonna have kids and then die. Is that your bucket list item? You're gonna just have the kids and then have fun.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, before you kick it, like if there's something that I would like to do before I, kick it, I'd like
pass
to have kids,
on the genes.
I'd like to have another me kind of floating around to continue the me.
If you have a son, do you think he'll have one chest hair?
I hope so, man.
One.
You know what?
Just one.
I think. Oh, it's.
Can we see it? I don't know if we can see it. Kinda. Yeah, there it is. One chest hair.
Right on. See that right on my
one.
Hair now? Boom.
I wasn't lying when I said that before. I said that on like a Facebook post or something.
I noticed it in the shower today.
Did you?
Because Kayla will see the chest hair, and she'll fucking pluck it off with her fingernails, right? And I'm sitting there. She's like, "Let me see," and she's sitting there. It's like, and it's just one single hair, so sometimes it's hard to get out. And then she eventually snips it off. And then when I was in the shower today, I was like, you know what? There's my one chest hair's in. So
dude, you gotta name that thing.
You know what? I actually have on my nipples. Mm-hmm. I have like 2 hairs on my nipples. So I actually have more nipple hair than I do on my chest.
So you have 5. You have a grand total of. Don't show your nipple on stream. We're gonna get banned.
I've got about 5 hairs.
Hassan himself will come in here and be like, "It's not my job to. I want to make sure you know it's not my job to ban people." But you can't show your nipples around here.
So I've got like 5 hairs on my upper body, like on my upper torso.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I have more than 5 hairs. I have several, for sure. For me, I'm gonna say, because I don't really have anything either, like major either. Like traveling is fine, whenever. But if traveling is just,
yeah,
it's kind of like if I only had one thing, then I'd probably use it to want to try and meet somebody that I've always wanted to meet. So I'm going to go with finally hit up one of the music festivals here and meet and shake the hand of the legend himself, Fred motherfucking Penner.
Oh, is that guy still alive?
Yeah, dude, he's touring, dude. He never
Jesus.
stops.
I didn't even know he was still alive, dude.
He never stops. He came up with a new album not long ago.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing. He's dapper as fuck. He's got like the dope beard still going. He dresses like an absolute legend. Brings his guitar around and he still does his thing. He does big numbers in universities where everyone's like grown up with him and shit.
Oh,
And he goes to
that.
he goes to a pub and he just plays shit and there's a bunch of like hammered 20-somethings listening to Fred Penner music. So yeah, and he does a lot of
All
he
hipsters
does,
too. Just a big hipster fest.
Oh, just
Listening to Fred Penner,
Well,
having their
I don't know-
IPAs.
I don't know if it's a hipster fest.
Oh, it's a hipster fest.
Because everyone that age
People
is
our age that's
growing
going
up.
to see Fred Penner are hipsters.
Well, I'm a
And
hipster
they're-
then. Chalk me
Well,
up because I'm going to a Fred Penner concert.
You'd have yourself a nice strong IPA. You'd be sitting there in some flannel.
I hate
and,
IPAs now.
I can't. I never liked IPAs. Never.
I
never
like
ever liked IPAs.
Look, Keith's is an IPA. But
Yeah,
then,
but
then,
not the
but not today's IPAs. We're
No.
like, we're gonna take
No.
IPA and we're gonna take the hops and we're actually just gonna exclude every other ingredient
Just
in the
hops.
beer. Just hops.
Just hops.
You just
That's it.
chew them. It's not actually
Yeah.
liquid. It's just hops in a bottle that you
It's like, what's the
casually
percent
pour
of this
into your
beer?
mouth.
9. It's like, fuck me, man. It tastes like fucking camel piss and pussy fucking dust.
Pussy dust.
It's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Oh no! You know what, Jeff? You know what my bucket list is to go and see the John Travolta star in Fred Durst's directed thriller, The Moose.
No,
My
stop the
bucket
madness.
list. It's my bucket
Stop the
list. Oh my
All
goodness! What do you got? You got one over there now?
Let me see here. Postal Panda.
Mm.
We already know he's a god.
Yep.
What
we know.
would your porn star name be? And what feature film would you be best known for starring in?
Okay. All right. I got two of them. One is obvious. It's NovaWar. All right. That's one. Two. I'm gonna go with I know. If you say pussy dust, I swear to God. I just thought of that. I was like, I swear to God, you say pussy dust.
That'd be a good name for the film. Pussy
I'm gonna
dust.
go with sensual breadstick.
Sensual breadstick for the name of the movie?
No. That's my other stage name.
Oh,
The name of the movie would be Moose, directed by Fred Durst.
I was gonna say
starring
Moose.
John Travolta.
The name of my movie was gonna be Moose. It was just gonna, because that's just it's symbiotic for what you're gonna see. I mean,
Hung like a horse fly.
Moose. My porn name would be man. Oh man, I still think MaximusBlack could work as a porn name.
Absolutely, that is a porn name.
I gotta
Twitch,
go.
Twitch just hasn't slapped TOS on you yet for it.
I know. Well, I got the LAGTV in the front, so it's
that's
not
true.
as.
Yeah, that's right.
you know.
That makes it happen.
I'm sticking with MaximusBlack.
That's
I
fair.
mean, because that's just
That is a good. That insinuates some things.
And I was gonna say Moose for the name of the movie, but I'm going with Pussy Dust. I gotta go with it, man. It's the perfect name.
Oh,
MaximusBlack
God.
starring in Pussy Dust. Yeah, I like it.
Oh my God, that's just scary. Absolutely scary.
All right, last one.
All
last
right, what do you got? What do you got?
This is from Mark, who's a $10 supporter. 70 bones lifetime, so thank you. He said, what commitment did you think wasn't going to last that did?
Getting out of bed in the morning.
I got one. I got two.
Oh, two. All right.
Two. What commitment? Okay. What commitment did you think wasn't going to last that did? All right. So number one is LAGTV.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I'm just gonna be straight up.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Whatever this is,
yeah.
I had no fucking, like, legit, guys, this was not part of the plan.
7 years ago, we didn't think we were going to be talking about Fred Durst and pussy dust on a podcast.
Even like, at the peak of LAGTV, like, back in 2013, 2012, 2013, at its peak, I wouldn't have imagined that here in 2018
we'd still be going.
We would still be going. Like, and I wasn't even planning my life. Like, when I started making enough money to quit my day job, this wasn't like, oh, this is gonna be my career. You know, I'm gonna this is gonna be my body of work. You know, I had no fucking clue. So this is definitely one that was one. And the other one, as harsh as this may sound, is my wife. I had no... God! When I first got with Kayla, we were strictly fuck buddies. That was it. I wanted to get in, get out, and I did that. And we went our separate ways for like a year, and then we ended up hooking up together again, and then eventually it was like, you know...
I even told her not to at one point.
Yeah.
It just happened anyway.
Yeah, so I would say, you know, definitely, Kayla, there's one commitment that I did not think was going to last. Now, I knew it was going to last, you know, when I proposed to her, and she said yes.
Yes, of course.
At that point, I was like, all right, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this chick.
That was a magical evening that did not go according to plan for, like, the 4 different plans we had. None of them happened.
No.
So that was great.
You know, that was great. And, yeah, so, I mean... I never thought for sure. I mean, Kayla's 3 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we really started dating, she was like, I think she was like maybe 18 years old when she moved in, when we moved in together. And I was like, you know, 20, turning 21. You know, fucking being that young, right? Didn't even know, like, I was just getting out of being a player. Like, you know, I was just like settling down.
You were getting into the pussy dust game.
Yeah, I had pussy dust all over me, and I had to like fucking just wipe the pussy dust clean and just put the jar in the fucking closet and just never look at it again.
I wish I could call this pussy dust, but I can't. I can't.
And that was it. And now it's just like fuck, you know. Now
put the pussy dust on the pedestal.
Put the pussy dust on a pedestal. That was it. So those are my 2 commitments that I had no fucking clue that we would still be here and doing this.
Yeah, I don't. I other than LAGTV, I can't really think of it. It's probably the longest term commitment that's still going that I wouldn't in a million years have thought that it would keep going this long. And it's a bit of a cop out because you'd expect us to come up with something else, but I mean it's literally been our life for 7 years, so I don't know what else I could even come up with.
Now you know what would be even crazy. You know what would be even crazier to think is that if we're still going to be here at 2025.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Can you imagine us looking back at this episode going, yo, because we're on our fucking...
We're pushing 40.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at this. Can you imagine 2025, another 7 years?
All right, Twitch chat right now, hit me up. Are we still going to be doing this in 2025 on the semi-regular? We're going to have children probably at that point, and we're going to be like
so.
grizzled men, gray beard. I'll probably be bald by fucking 38 years old.
Well, hopefully I get to go do what my dad did and just look younger and get bigger and stronger as the older I get.
Yeah, that's a different generation. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either. I'm too much of a bitch. My dad's been doing hard labor his whole life.
We're so soft. There's no way.
He's so fucking black too.
We're
it's just
so
like, fuck.
soft. Yeah. You don't have all the black genes your dad does.
No,
you just have half of that shit. Yeah.
I've got the dick and that's it.
Yeah.
And the hair. That's it. I don't even really have nappy hair either. I've just got like half white people hair. So I don't know what's gonna happen with me. You know, maybe I just I don't know.
I'm almost guaranteed bald by 38 years old. I'm almost guaranteeing it that I'm going to be bald as a son of a bitch Unless
I
they
can
come
see
up,
that.
unless they come up with some like magical hair replacement formula.
You'd look really weird
By
bald
then.
too, like just straight bald. Like I've
I
seen you
think-
with the buzz cut.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
when you were
so
younger.
I'm pretty close to being bald. I mean, I had a zero. It was like a zero on the guard. Like it was nothing. There was nothing
Yeah.
to my hair. So,
But I mean, like actually bald,
Like
where-
shining
like
head
it's scalp.
bald.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it's like
it's
a
different.
fucking like it's different, right?
it is. Yeah.
You'd look weird.
I
bro.
would
as long
look-
as you
I
could
would
grow
look
some
weird.
good facial hair, I think you could rock it.
Yeah, I could. I mean, I've got just enough of a beard that I could pull something off. But you know, it is, and I think part of it is too. Is that unless you go bald really young, everybody, if you look at them, you can't picture them being bald. It'd be like even if you went bald, I'd be like, I can't picture that shit. But but then after a while, when somebody's bald, you're like, I don't even know what the hell you would look like with hair. It'd be weird.
So for me, I go through phases.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. So for me, when my hair is lined up and I've got a fade, I'm the blackest I can look. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then now my hair is getting pretty long. Like if this is wet, you know, my hair is kind of like froey.
yeah.
And I start to look Indian. Like I start to look like I start to look like a like fucking like not quite like panic level. But you know, I start to look.
You get a little Indian flair in there. You get a
get a
little
little
Bollywood. You get a little Bollywood.
I get a little That's it. I go a little Bollywood.
Little
on ya.
Bollywood.
And then if I grow my hair even longer, then I start to look like half black.
Like
I
cocaine's
start to
a hell of a drug.
I look like I start to look like I'm actually mixed. Like you could like it's weird. It's like, damn dude, you're black, but you got some white something going on in there.
You should definitely grow it out and go for the Rick James. I think you should go the Rick James.
No, I'm cutting my hair next week for sure before I go away. But
the Rick James tip on. For
good old
sure.
Rick James.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think on that hot note, we're call it a podcast there. It's episode 50 in the books. Probably the most gong show episode we've had. Which is only fitting. Hopefully you guys got a bunch of enjoyment out of it. And we hope that you come back for the next 50. A while ago, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but a while ago we finally passed 100 5-star reviews on iTunes.
Woo!
It happened. It actually finally happened. 100 5-star reviews. So shout out to all you beautiful people for getting us there. We do greatly appreciate it. And of course, it's time to shout out our Patreon producers. And I believe Fricey is still getting free shoutouts, but he can get free shoutouts for the rest of his life, and it doesn't really matter because I still have not updated this page. But shoutouts to our producers, Jetrix. Jetrix, I think, I'm actually starting to question whether or not he does for real sell drugs at this point. $500 a month. Just I don't even want to know what his lifetime is, but it's a lot. Postal Panda also not fucking around, sticking at that $250 forever. Chico, Derek P, Naily, Adam B, Jamaican J, Jorbach, Total Steel, Matthew M. Sorry, legends. Every single one of you guys. If you're new here, hit the follow button. If you're watching live here, if you're on YouTube and you enjoyed it, by all means, spread the word. You can check out technicalalpha.audio to get any and all remaining information you might want for the podcast, including every single episode of the podcast in its entirety for download, for playback, and whatever else you might want to do with it there. If you're not already listening to us or using the RSS feed for iTunes, etc. You can also head over if you want to help support the show, and we've got some now that we're a year in, we've got changes and changes and some and just kind of remixing. We're remixing it a bit. The podcast, nothing
new
too
year,
crazy.
New dreams.
But we're looking forward to that. So head over to Patreon. You want to be financially part of this group and keeping our mouths getting fed. Patreon.com/technicalalpha. We'd love to have that support. We do appreciate everyone that's stuck with us through this entire process, even when we're fucking up. So really do appreciate it. No more Joe McDong. I'm sorry, but we lost Joe McDong.
Sorry, McDong.
He'll always be in our hearts, though. Joe McDong's probably starring in a Fred Durst movie, not too far into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, until we see you guys next week, do us a favor, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace!